French and Vietnamese perspectives on the Vietnam War. Paragraph 1. The French invaded Vietnam in 1858, and despite resistance, they were able to conquer the southern part of Vietnam, including Saigon, the capital. It took 16 more years to conquer the rest. The French built roads, harbors, bridges, and canals to exploit the resources of Vietnam, which were rice, coal, rare minerals, and rubber. This process went on until the 1950s. Paragraph 2. During the first 50 years of the 1900s, the French used a program called pacification to try and convince rural Vietnamese that the French occupation was good for them. The French built roads, schools, railway, and vaccinated children in an attempt to win the hearts and minds of the Vietnamese. Paragraph 3. However, the wealth created in Vietnam benefited the French and a small group of Vietnamese loyal to the French. Agricultural policies led to 70% of the farmers owning only 15% of the land. The peasants were heavily taxed by the French on the rice they did grow, so they were really poor, while the French and some Vietnamese landlords became wealthy. Paragraph 4. The French used forced low-wage labor to build their projects, harvest rubber, and to mine metals. Some historians claimed that the French rule led to vast improvements in medical care, education, transportation, and communications, but other historians say the statistics don't prove this. Paragraph 5. The Vietnamese were left out of the business sector, and only the French and Chinese were able to own profitable businesses. This type of capitalism made it seem like capitalism was part of foreign rule, and many peasants were easy to convince that communism was maybe a better way for them. Paragraph 6. The leader named Ho Chi Minh was able to recruit many peasant farmers and laborers to his nationalist army, which would be used to fight the French. Meanwhile, World War II resulted in Japanese occupation of Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh used his Viet Minh army to fight the French and the Japanese. He even got help from the US to fight the Japanese. Paragraph 7. When Japan lost World War II, the US at first was going to support Vietnamese independence, but they were convinced by the French to let France come back to rule Vietnam, thus setting up a new war between the Viet Minh communist-backed fighters and France.